Well, tonight, the House Budget Committee took a critical step to passing the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and making President Trump's America First vision a reality for the American people. So let's go forth and deliver on what we promised the American people.
Since you gave it.
President Donald Trump's sweeping tax cut bill, which had been stalled for several days due to Republican disagreements over spending cuts, secured approval from a key congressional committee on Sunday, marking a rare victory for both Trump and House Speaker Mike Johnson. During an unusual Sunday night session, 4 hardline conservative members of the House Budget Committee, who had blocked the legislation on Friday, agreed to advance the bill. This decision came after intense closed-door negotiations with Republican leaders and White House officials, where they pressed for deeper spending cuts before giving their approval to move the bill forward. 4 hardline members of the committee's 21 Republicans allowed the legislation to advance by voting present. The bill passed in a 17-16 vote, with all Democrats voting against it. The hardliners had spent much of the day in closed-door negotiations with House Republican leaders and White House officials. Johnson met with Republican lawmakers shortly before the meeting, telling reporters that the changes agreed to were just some minor modifications, not a huge thing. Republican House Budget Chairman Jody Arrington said he expects deliberations to continue on into the week, right up until the time we put this big, beautiful bill before the House.
I will look into the timing of any outstanding CBO scores, and I'm certain that if there are outstanding scores, that those will be disclosed before our members vote, before our members collectively, both Democrats and Republicans.
Before you vote on the floor.
Yeah. But just let's appreciate how far we've come. And since you're asking me these, I think, relevant questions, we didn't even have, the last time we did reconciliation and the Democrats were in charge and had unified control of Congress, it never even went through regular order, didn't even come to this committee so that we could even have this dialogue. We couldn't even have asked that question.
We ended up having to vote. I remember because it was a Saturday, and it was a 10, 11 hour markup.
Well,
yeah. But that concludes my parliamentary.
Did the budget resolution come through this committee? It did not. There was not a budget resolution substantive. There was a shell one, but there wasn't any substantive fiscal framework from which you all and we would judge it. I'm just saying we've run regular order. We've done budgets twice since I've been chair. The 2 years that I've been chair, we'll do one this year again for 26. And we haven't done a budget in the entire time, no disrespect, but because we're getting off topic, but not one time in the last 4 years was there a real budget, a 10-year budget, a budget resolution, other than the shell.
Yeah, I mean,
and I just think, we're doing the people's business the best we can. You may disagree with it, right. And we may not have all the pieces yet pulled together, but this is
we've
a response.
So keep it, and I appreciate you've always been good about the fact that we have a healthy, vigorous debate here, and I think we both agree that that's good for the process and happen to enjoy it. I'm not looking to relitigate the last 8 years or 20 years. I just mean on the bill that's in front of us, making sure all the members know transparently just what the heck is in this thing, because obviously it's changing back in that back room by the minute. And then the second thing is what exactly the score is according to CBO.
It only
I think
changes.
Both of those things are important for all of us.
It's a
And I
fair
think if the
question.
roles were reversed, to conclude, if the roles were reversed, you would be saying the same
Well,
thing? in
no,
my
I wouldn't, but
situation?
now I will. No, I'm kidding. No, look, when there is a definitive change, people will know that change. When there are definitive changes, and they will be reflected if those changes should occur in a manager's amendment. That's just how this works. So I appreciate the inquiry, and I believe it to be, earnest and in good faith, but that's the answer. Let's get on with this business if we can.
Trump's Republicans hold a 220 to 213 majority in the House and are divided over how deeply to slash spending to offset the cost of the tax cuts. Hardliners want cuts to Medicaid, which some Republican senators have pushed back against, saying it would hurt the very voters who elected Trump in November and whose support they will need in 2026 when control of Congress is again up for grabs. The bill's cuts would kick 8.6 million people off Medicaid. It also aims to eliminate taxes on tips and some overtime income, both Trump campaign promises, while boosting defense spending and providing more funds for Trump's border crackdown. Nonpartisan analysts say the bill, which would extend the 2017 tax cuts that were Trump's signature first-term legislative win, would add $3 trillion to $5 trillion to the $36.2 trillion national debt over the next decade. Credit ratings agency Moody's cited the rising debt, which it said was on track to reach 134% of gross domestic product, GDP, by 2035, for its decision on Friday to downgrade the U.S.'s credit rating. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said in an interview with CNN on Sunday that the bill would spur economic growth sufficient to offset any growth in the debt, adding that he did not put much credence in Moody's downgrade. Economic experts have warned that the downgrade, following previous downgrades by Fitch Ratings and S&P, is a clear sign that the U.S. has too much debt, and lawmakers need to either increase revenues or spend less.